Hi there friends, I'm Jacqueline Claire, and this video is going to be a hybrid of my usual content, a hybrid of study-alongs of important Baha'i documents and books, and also my personal podcast called Spiritual Conversation, spiritual psychological takes on personal phenomena and current events. So my question for you is, do you know what the three false gods are that Shoghi Effendi describes in The Promised Day Is Come? This is particularly for folks of Baha'i persuasion familiar with the Baha'i faith. What are the three false gods? I'm going to tell you. They are nationalism, racialism, and the C word, communism. So first off, let's just give a basic definition of what those are. If you Google search nationalism, what you will get is an ideology based on the premise that the individual's loyalty and devotion to the nation state surpasses other individual or group affiliations, to the exclusion or detriment of the interests of other nations. And it's interesting to differentiate that with what Shoghi Effendi calls a healthy patriotism. Baha'is are encouraged to have a healthy patriotism, which is a love and appreciation for one's country and a defense of its prerogatives, but not where it is at the exclusion of other nations. This is my riffing here. And not where it becomes an idolatry, which I think we've seen historically happen. We're accused of it happening in the US, but I personally don't agree with that. I think of Maoist China, where people were literally worshiping in like a morning salute the leader of their country. You know, where the state, the nation state, becomes a religion, you know? Racialism, the first thing it says is see racism, but that's actually not true. It's not the exact same definition of racism. It is actually a belief that race determines human traits and capacities. So, sounds to me like a hyper focus on the immutable characteristics of one's ethnicity. Are any of us guilty of that? It does seem like that is a prevailing social thought right now, racialism, that's the most important thing about you and that it defines everything about you. And then communism. Communism, political and economic doctrine that aims to replace private property in a profit-based economy with public ownership, of course, derived from Karl Marx, advocating class war and leading to a society in which all property is publicly owned and each person works and is paid according to their abilities and needs, but not for the work that they do, but in a system of forced equity. And it doesn't mention it here, but communism is also anti-God and replaces loyalty to the commonwealth, replaces loyalty to God or one's sovereign moral relationship, spiritual moral relationship, with an allegiance to their social order. So I'm going to go ahead and read this section from the book. So it's in my copy, it's page 185. It's segmented. It says, the three false gods. This vital force of religion is dying out. This mighty agency has been scorned, this radiant light obscured, this impregnable stronghold abandoned, this beauteous robe discarded. God himself has indeed been dethroned from the hearts of men, and An idolatrous world passionately and clamorously hails and worships the false gods which its own idle fancies have fatuously created, and its misguided hands so impiously exalted. So these are man-made religions, so to speak, man-made gods, false gods. The chief idols in the desecrated temple of mankind are none other than the triple gods of nationalism, racialism, and communism, at whose altars governments and peoples, whether democratic or totalitarian, at peace or at war, of the East or of the West, Christian or Islamic, are in various forms and in various degrees now worshiping. Their high priests are the politicians and the worldly wise, the so-called sages of the ages. Their sacrifice, the flesh and blood of the slaughtered multitudes. And just research how many people have died under the reign of communism. How many people have died under the reign of National Socialism? How many people have died at the hands of racialism globally? Their incantations, outworn shibboleths, and insidious, irreverent formulas. Their incense, the smoke of anguish that ascends from the lacerated hearts of the bereaved, the maimed, and the homeless. The theories and policies so unsound, so pernicious, which deify the state, make a god of the state, and exalt the nation above mankind, exalt the nation above the sovereign rights of individuals, which seek to subordinate the sister races of the world to one single race, to subordinate the sister races of the world to one single race, like Nazism, where they were seeking to purge of all the races that they didn't see as the ones they wanted to exalt, which discriminate between the black and the white, which tolerate the dominance of one privileged class over all others. These are the dark, the false and crooked doctrines for which any man or people who believes in them or acts upon them must sooner or later incur the wrath and chastisement of God. And here is a quote from Abdu'l-Baha. Movements, he warns, movements newly born and worldwide in their range will exert their utmost effort for the advancement of their designs. The movement of the left will acquire great importance. Its influence will spread. Left is capitalized, and so is movement. The movement of the left will acquire great importance. Its influence will spread. Contrasting with and irreconcilably opposed to these war-engendering, world-convulsing doctrines. Okay, so let's just pause there for a second. So, all of that, deification of the state, the subordination of races, communism, nationalism, racialism, are all completely in contrast to the healing, the saving, the pregnant truths proclaimed by Baha'u'llah, the divine organizer and the savior of the whole human race. Truth which should be regarded as the animating force and the hallmark of his revelation. The world is but one country, and mankind its citizens. Let not a man glory in that he loves his country. Let him rather glory in this, that he loves his kind. Ye are the fruits of one tree, and the leaves of one branch. Bend your minds and wills to the education of the peoples and kindreds of the earth, that happily all mankind may become the upholders of one order and the inhabitants of one city. Ye dwell in one world and have been created through the operation of one will. Beware lest the desire of the flesh and of a corrupt inclination provoke division amongst you. Be ye as the fingers of one hand and the members of one body. And yet again, all the saplings of the world have appeared from one tree, and all the drops from one ocean. And all beings owe their existence to one being. That's sweet. All beings, lowercase, owe their existence to one being. And furthermore, that one indeed is a man who today dedicateth himself to the service of the entire human race. All right, my friends, well, that's something to contemplate, and now you know who the three false gods of the Baha'i faith are. Be sure to comment if you have any thoughts or questions or further research on this topic. Like this video if you do. It just helps other people find it on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. Let your friends know about this channel if you think they would like it. And linked below, you will find all different kinds of ways to support this channel, support my work, and also look at my artwork and see about bringing some beauty and spiritual realism into your home. Until next time, my friends, I wish you the best in playing your unique part in making this world a better place. Catch you next time.